Hi there, Mayor Dan Pope with a weekly update. You're getting this on Friday morning, and I'm shooting this late Thursday afternoon because of calendar challenges on Friday. So a few things that I think are top of mind for me this week. First of all, I promised 2 weeks ago that I would talk about annexation. We are tonight having the second of two public hearings around three separate annexation items, action items, proposed annexations. And about 4 years ago, the City Council, after talking quite a bit about annexation, acknowledged that they didn't really have a plan for annexation, and that it's probably important that to better plan for growth, to better let citizens as well as folks that live in the county know what our boundaries are going to be, that we would appoint a group of citizens to work on this. And we did so, or they did so. I was not on the council. Mayor Pro Tem Joy was sort of the staff member of that, or the council member of that group. They made recommendations to the previous council sometime, I think, in early 15, maybe late 15, sometime in 15. They took action on some of those annexations in early 16, and the last three that have been suggested to us are on the table right now. There's one in North Lubbock, up the interstate north of town. There's one, what I would describe generally as North Frankfort and north of Erskine, and another one in West Lubbock where there's a piece of property that would be in between the Wolford city limits and the Lubbock city limits. And we had 30 plus citizens come to the public hearing 2 weeks ago, and generally either testified against the annexations or had a lot of questions about the annexations. We don't do the annexations just to grab land. When we consider something like this, we consider the future growth of our community and what's the most responsible way to do that. And I think tonight you'll see us have these public hearings, and then after each public hearing we will have some discussion around what we've heard from citizens and potentially ways that these proposed annexations could be changed to allow us to accomplish the goal of smart growth, but at the same time to have as little impact upon existing uses of that land, whether it be a residential or business use. I think the final thing I would say is that I don't see any other non-petition annexations in our near future. A petition annexation is when a developer comes to us and says, listen, I bought a piece of land, it's not in the city, there's no one living on that land today, but we'd like to extend city services, and we'd like to pay for that, and we want you to add it to the city. We will certainly consider those in the future, but I don't think you're going to see any non-petition type of annexations moving forward. I think we've made our case, sort of stating, clean some things up. But follow the news on this. It's interesting. These are probably the most difficult decisions that we make as a council, because you're weighing the overall greater good of the city and our growth and how we'll grow over the next 15, 20, 30 years against property owners. And often the biggest investment we make is in our home. And so these are things weigh very significantly on the council. Second, and a little lighter note, you may have seen the news, but the mayor of West Lafayette, Indiana, and I have a friendly wager on the basketball game tomorrow, the Texas Tech Purdue basketball game tomorrow in Boston. And he's bet me some homemade root beer made in one of their famous old restaurants against some Texas barbecue from brisket from Tom and Bingo's is what I've put up, a third generation business right in the middle of Lubbock on 34th Street. So West Lafayette's a college town just like Lubbock is, and we had Mayor Dennis and I had a great discussion, and we thought this would be a fun thing to do to try to add a little more interest to the game. We're excited about the Red Raiders game tomorrow, and we hope that they win 2 in Boston so we can go to San Antonio next weekend. We've also had a lot of other success with basketball in our community this spring, and I'm not looking at my list, but we had a state championship at Southcrest Baptist. We had a state championship at All Saints. I think their men's team won a state championship. You had a great year from the LCU women. They got to the Final Four before losing. The South Plains College men are still alive in the national tournament in Hutchinson, Kansas. The Wayland Baptist men Wayland Baptist women have had a great run this year with Coach Alicia Robertson Ellis, and so a lot of great basketball, a lot to celebrate. We hope we can celebrate a big victory this weekend. Thank you for your good ideas and your encouragement, for your prayers, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a good weekend.